If it could have happened any other way, it would have. You look back at your life. Why'd I have to go through that? The reason? Because if it could have happened any other way, it would have. And we live in a reality of parallel dimensions and quantum mechanics and infinite potential. And yet, in every moment, there's only one way it's meant to play out. And that's however it happens to you. And we're no longer going to play this silly game where we go, oh yeah, this outcome happened because my vibrations are awry, my chakras are like a bunch of tangled up Christmas lights. And I obviously haven't mastered the law of attraction, otherwise better things would happen. That's the classic game of the old paradigm called blame the experiencer. Oh, I don't know why this is happening, so I'm not going to judge them. I'm going to blame myself. I'm going to blame myself. I'm going to turn on some soft music, light some incense, frankincense and myrrh. Can't do myrrh without frankincense. Can't do frankincense without myrrh. Read the Bible. And I'm going to just get in the lotus position and blame myself for everything. Right? What's the question people always ask? Why did I attract this? You want to know why? Because nothing's stupid. Because everything helps everything. And the main reason why you attract it is because if it could have happened any other way, it would have. And somewhere along the line, we wake up out of what I call the law of attraction ego. I just made that up, but I love that. Law of attraction ego. Let's make law of attraction detox centers around the country. I'm going to start this, right? We're almost at that point. Because at a certain point, I'm not saying there isn't a law of attraction. There is. It's just not what we think. The idea that you can just manifest at will anything. First of all, it's kind of a suspect thing where you stop one day and you go, you kind of come off your law of attraction sauce a little bit. And you go, before I get high again on that crap, let me ask myself a question. Why do I spend so much time trying to create things that don't show up? Why do I think my happiness exists in the things that are somewhere else? If I'm right here, wouldn't that be where my happiness is? Why do I take my happiness, throw it into the future, and then chase after it like a dog? And then our happiness is based on how close we think we are to what we don't have. That's bananas. That's bananas. You want to be an expert? Okay, as an aside, along with unraveling judgment, Matt Kahn's now going to teach you how to master manifestation in 5 seconds. I'm going to teach you how to do 5 seconds. You want to be a master manifester? Try manifesting what you already have. I manifest a purple shirt. Bling! I manifest teaching about unraveling judgment. Look how good I am. You want to impress your friends? They go, oh, so what are you doing? I'm manifesting. What are you manifesting? And tell them you're manifesting something you have in that moment. Yeah, I'm manifesting a brand new purple shirt. Look how fast that was. Instantaneous. It's like an illness. My happiness exists in what I don't have, and I always have to call in what I don't have, and until that happens, my life sucks. And you know what that mentality is going to lead you into faster than anything? Something is stupid. If you can see form, it looks like life is already manifested. And we think, but I want it to be different. I know. We all feel that way. That's not something we resolve with a vision board. That's actually what we wake up from. Because when you're aligned, you only find yourself wanting what actually is here or about to happen. And then when you desire something that shows up instantaneously, you think you did that. No, that's just you in the flow desiring what's already coming to you. And when you're out of the flow, you always want and need what isn't here, and you try to create the very thing that is not ready to come to you. And then when it doesn't come, it becomes ammunition to go back into your limiting beliefs and judgments. If it could have happened any other way, it would have. And this is where we start to put our imagination in check. Because you say, but I imagined it could have been a totally different scenario. It could have been a different way. It could have. But that's imagination. The way it turns out to be is exactly what you needed en route to becoming who you are. To shining brighter, to disarming your subconscious beliefs, to becoming more conscious and self-actualized. We all need things to be exactly the way they are. And you don't have to like it, by the way. Don't try to like it. No. Don't try to like it at all. No. Trying to like what you don't like is awful. Have you ever seen this? Have you ever seen this? I was talking to someone and I was like, how's your life? And they go, oh, well, I've had a series of setbacks, but I accept it. That what? And then it became the weirdest conversation for them because I said, well, why do you accept this? And they go, isn't that what I'm supposed to do as a spiritual person? No. True acceptance is here's what's happening and here's how I feel about it. Acceptance is the inclusion of your personal experience. And when we disqualify our personal experience, trying to be ultra spiritual, it doesn't feel authentic. It always feels like that smiling clown face on a miniature golf course. I accept what is. Really? 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 Doesn't look like it. I like flipping teachings upside down just to show people different things. I was dialoguing with someone and they go, and I accept this. I go, really, I don't. I don't accept it at all. Because that's not what acceptance is. Acceptance is here's what happened and here's what feelings it brings up in me and here's what's part of my process. It's called being real. And the sobering truth of every moment is when you wake up out of what I call blaming the experiencer, when it's not your chakras problems, it's not your DNA's problems, it's not your ego's problems, it's not your ancestors' problems. These are all things we heal, but we don't blame anything. Right? We wake up out of this fixation that says, if I was more capable, better things would have happened. The truth is, you are manifested into the exact version of you need to be for every given moment. And the way things happen is only to guarantee that you will maintain your trajectory on your highest timeline possible, which is hard for people to imagine when they experience non-stop setbacks. Wow, nothing but distractions and frustration and setbacks. What is life awakening in me? Look at how hard life is working to show me something. Oh, life is giving me all the evidence of how unfair life is. Am I going to fall for that story? Or are you going to outsmart it? And you say to the universe, God, I'm getting way too smart for this. Bring it all on. Bring the dump truck of adversity. Dump it into my lawn. And I will praise your name And the worse it gets, the louder I laugh. And then you start outsmarting the time-space continuum of your own conditioning. Because once you are in a mindset where no matter what happens to you, it's not stupid, it couldn't have happened any other way, everything helps everything, all of a sudden, you start to glimpse into a reality of, I think it was meant to be this way all along, and I actually think it's going to help me be better even if I don't feel better right now. And that's when our consciousness starts to really align with the faith and the perspective of unity consciousness. Wow, this doesn't have to be popular with me, but I think there's a really good reason. You don't even have to know the reason. You just have to know, if it happened, it couldn't have been any other way. Why could it have been any other way? Because that's the way it happened. If you think of those two sentences, it couldn't have been any other way. Why? Because that's the way it happened. It's hard to disagree with that. But don't let that stop you, YouTube. It couldn't have happened any other way. Because that's the way it happened. Do you feel how definitive that is? Now again, you have an imagination that says, but I saw 15 different ways it could have happened. Yes, and those were all 15 different dimensions parallel to your timeline. Your imagination glimpsed other possibilities. And when you don't experience the most popular possibility, the tendency is to blame yourself or put yourself under the spiritual microscope and go, let me dig inside myself so I can find what keeps sabotaging me. What keeps me from all the fun? Do you know what keeps you from having the kind of experiences you want to have? Your highest potential. Your destiny. That says, I appreciate what you want, but the universe knows exactly what you need. And in the end, everything's going to be incredible. But first things first, become your highest potential. And to think that you can snap your fingers and manifest anything at will is not necessarily what co-creation is all about. Co-creation is primarily about remembering why it is so important to be exactly as I am, going through everything I'm going through to become who I can't even imagine becoming. So there is a law of attraction. It's just not the ego version that everyone likes to get high off of. The most humble form of the law of attraction is if you have something you want to create in your life, call it in, count to 10, and if it doesn't show up, move on. And like I said, if you want to impress your friends with manifestation powers, manifest what's already here. Because how can you be ready to receive the unthinkable if you can't even appreciate what's here right now? Literally one of the deepest spiritual lessons there is in existence. Children learn on Thanksgiving. Eat your dinner, then you get dessert. And our dinner is our present moment circumstances. And our dessert is what's going to come to us anyway. The future is always going to be better. Everything always shakes out. Everything always comes out in the wash. But to think that the good doesn't happen until you make it happen, doesn't that strike you as a little egocentric? Like as if you're in a lifetime where the universe forgot to include some details and you have to start editing it and revising it, right? Could there be something more out of sync with reality than going up to the kingdom of heaven because you have suggestions? Yeah, God, thanks for this lifetime. I'd like to renovate. Here's my plan. If it could have happened any other way, it would have. If you sat with that single rule of deconstructing judgment, just sit with that as a meditation, it will take you all the way to clarity. And if you really sit with that insight, if it could have happened any different, it would have. It starts to get you into this really liberated place where you actually go what I call beyond the law of attraction. If it couldn't have happened any other way, then why do I have to spend time calling things in? If it couldn't happen any other way, then the way it's supposed to be is the only way it's going to be. And from the time that things happen to, whenever they manifest, am I just going to cope with reality by just calling in erroneous things? And then when they don't show up, I get mad? If it couldn't have happened any other way, why do you think it's your responsibility to call things in? Here's a newsflash about manifestation. You will manifest exactly the same reality whether you call it in or you don't. When you call something in, it's you desiring something that is already coming to you, and calling it in is reminding you of what's about to happen. That's called intuition. That's intuition. Go to a restaurant, sit down with your family, and the minute the server comes with the plates, I hereby call in dinner. Look at how miraculous I am. Could you imagine that level of liberation? Try this out loud. Just see how it feels. See if it's minty fresh. I will attract the same incredible reality, whether I call it in or not. If it could have happened any other way, it would have. So if it's meant to be, it's going to be. And if it's going to be, it doesn't require me. I'm here to receive it, but I don't have to call it in, because whether I call it in or not, it's going to be, if it's meant to be. So if you think it feels powerful to access the law of attraction, my invitation is, you think it's powerful to try to manifest? You have no idea how powerful it is to surrender the need to manifest. That's where I live. That's my playground. Because what I don't want for spiritual people to do anymore is to run around only feeling good about the positive things they hope are coming. It's called living in a state of anticipation. When we are lost in anticipation, we're not rooted in presence. And when you are rooted in presence enough, you are so enamored by the beauty and majestic perfection of your current life circumstances that you just don't have time to imagine what you don't have, or think that your life will be better off when different objects appear. It's not like the universe looks down and goes, that's not what we created. How did that happen? Donald Trump's the president? We didn't create that, did we? Archangel Michael, is that on your vision board? Are you joking around again? Could you imagine that? I think it'd be funny if, like, the angels look down on the world right now and, like, report it back to God, and God goes, how's everything going? Well, God, Donald Trump is the president. What should we do? I don't know. Just put CBD in everything. Does it have to be in everything? Literally, that's probably what God did. Look down. Oh my God, Donald Trump's president. What's going on? They're building a wall. All right. This stuff over here, all CBD. The stuff that doesn't have CBD, sriracha. And if we start living in a planet where there is CBD-infused sriracha, that's a sign of the apocalypse. So I'm letting you know that if we start seeing sriracha and CBD cross-pollinate, buy property. Move to a farm. Start growing organic food. The world's ending. That's how you'll know. Oh, you went to that Matt Kahn event. Oh, I learned about the sign of the apocalypse. What's that? CBD-infused sriracha. The universe never looks down and goes, we didn't manifest that. Why do we attract that? If we were a more conscious universe, if we were a more heart-centered universe, we'd attract different things. The universe doesn't judge itself. Why do we? Because our imagination tells us it could have been different. Potentially. But what happens was the best case scenario. Not to your ego. Not to your ego, because your ego is always attracted to, I'm going to feel better when things I don't have come to me. And that's how your ego stays in a state of deficiency that keeps you unconscious. Seeking instead of receiving. So if the law of attraction is powerful, and there are a lot of people that go, but Matt, I attract a lot of things. I call it in and it happens. No, that's a state of flow. That's a flow state. A flow state says, I am only going to call in what's about to happen. That's intuition. That's flow. And other people go, I tried to attract things and nothing came to me. Because you are erroneously trying to call in things that are nowhere near you. That's just to show us how out of flow we are. And if you want to experience the most powerful law of attraction, take that powerful tool and say, thank you, God, for this gift, and put it on the ground and walk away. Because you can't be initiated into being a true co-creator until you become God's favorite gangster.